As ever, drama.
Yes.
Let's go to our live nest now. We've got a fine array of these. Last night we started with the nightjar. Let's do so again. We can go to it live now. There's our female nightjar, resting, same spot of course. Look at it, absolutely stunning bird. Last night I'd have given it 10 out of 10. Tonight it might have lost some marks. Let's find out why. We know that one of the youngsters had hatched. We saw that, and here it is, looking quite strong and quite fit. And of course, as dusk came in last night, the male came in. You can see the white spots on the wing there, and he started to feed that youngster. Now, initially, they don't regurgitate a bolus of insects. They convert those insects into a type of soup, a milk, which they discharge it delicately into the mouth of the young. He didn't stay very long. He leaps up, and there you can see that youngster and the remaining unhatched egg. Female soon return after he left, settles down to brood and incubate. And it's not long before the youngster again is hungry, starts begging, and here, if you watch the throat of the female, you can see that she appears to be feeding, swallowing a bit of that milk she hasn't put into its beak there. So she appears to be feeding the chick at this stage. But here things change. The chick's begging and it's not getting any food. She's clearly run out of food at this point. But as the night goes on, just before 3 o'clock, we see this. The second egg has hatched. You can see the damp youngster just broken out of the shell there in the foreground. She flies off and we get a view of both of those youngsters with the discarded shells in the background in the nest. And they're both looking okay at this point. Then she returns to the nest again. And of course, the idea would be that she would have caught more food to feed her young chicks. And initially, although she's facing away from us, we see this movement and we think, yeah, that's her. She's feeding that chick again. But then watch what happens next. You simply won't believe it. She begins the same sort of movement, but then she lifts her head and she's eating her own chick alive, and she swallows it whole. Now, today we've rung all the experts, we've asked all the people that we know that know anything about nightjars, and we've combed the scientific literature, and we can't find a single incidence of a female nightjar eating their own young alive, or eating their own young. What on earth could be happening here? We've all got our own theories. Go on, launch me with theory number one.
Well, first of all, I will say that we were, like you, so shocked when we heard that news this morning. We were definitely not expecting anything like that to happen. But I think there must have been something wrong with the chick. Although you would expect the adult, all that effort they've put into that egg and then that chick, you'd expect them to let it at least die first. And we've seen that with the kestrels, when one of the chicks did die and the mother fed it to the other siblings. But to feed on it live like that, it's just a complete mystery.
Animals seem to have a remarkable capacity to identify congenital problems in their young. So we do very often see young animals, particularly mammals, very rapidly abandoned, and then we discover, if we're able to, that there is something wrong with them. So that's a perfectly valid theory. The other thing is there's not a lot of food here. We've noticed a dearth of moths and butterflies and bees. Insect numbers seem to be down all over the country. Many people are reporting this on social media. Could she have just eaten it because she was hungry? It's unlikely. It's more likely that she would keep the food that she had herself, and again, the chicks would probably starve if there was a shortage of food. That didn't happen. I mean, the great likelihood is that we'll probably never know, but it's, you know, only through our cameras being able to observe these things at night that we've seen this remarkable, rather horrid occurrence. However, there is some remaining good news. Well, I say that. Here is the remaining chick, nestled beneath the feathers of its infanticidal, psychopathic, cannibalistic mother. And I'm sure it'd be perfectly safe there, and it'll be there tomorrow. I mean, there won't be any more problems, of course.
Let's hope so, because this really is becoming the series that just keeps shocking, isn't it?